Good afternoon. This is HorseRacingNation.com handicapper Jared Horak. This is our second Kentucky Derby 2015 video. We started in September and we did our first update, and now this is going to be our October update. And they've run some graded races since we did our last video, and some of my horses did run well, including International Star, Blofeld, Carpe Diem, and American PHAROAH. Let's recap some of those graded stakes races. The Grade 1 front runner at Santa Anita, that was run at the course and distance of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and American PHAROAH was able to win nicely. It was basically a replay of the Del Mar Futurity. He got out there, he controlled the pace, he won nicely, and he got a 101 Beyer speed figure. Definitely the one to beat in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Still want to see how he'll handle some pace pressure if he faces some good quality horses, how he handles that pace pressure. But he'll get a challenge in the Juvenile, and the fact that he has that win at the distance on dirt at Santa Anita definitely makes him the one to beat in that race. The Grade 1 Champagne was run on a wet track. Daredevil for Todd Pletcher drew the outside post in that 1 mile race, and he controlled it nicely. He tracked the pace on the outside, pulled away, it got a 107 Beyer speed figure. There's still questions for him. He's 2 for 2 lifetime, but both of the wins were at Belmont Park on wet tracks. So now he has to obviously we have to see how he does on a fast track in the future against good horses. But so far so good for him. He certainly has some quality. The Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland, Carpe Diem dominated that race for John Velasquez, Todd Pletcher. Now he's 2 for 2 lifetime. He looks good. He's probably going to run in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile next. He likes to run on or near the lead, so he'll be up close throughout, and he looks like a solid threat in the Juvenile, and certainly one to watch for next year. The Grade 3 Gray Stakes at Woodbine didn't get much of a Beyer speed figure, a 66, but the pace wasn't much there on synthetic ground. An International Star, who was my top-ranked horse in September for my first blog, he got the job done. It was a nice effort. He sat back behind those slow fractions. He came home nicely. And so far, he's handled everything. He's handled dirt. He's handled turf. He's handled synthetic. They shipped him around. And he looks like a good quality horse. I'm not really concerned about the speed figure at this point. He got 10 Kentucky Derby points for that. And he's going to move on and hopefully go to the dirt and run a little bit faster in the future. The Grade 2 Futurity at Belmont was a sprint race of Blofeld. He was very impressive. He was on the inside for Todd Pletcher. He was behind horses, but he came through on the inside. He looked very professional. It was only his second lifetime start. And that's exactly what you want to see in these young horses. You want to see them overcome some things. And as opposed to American PHAROAH, which definitely no knock, but he got out there and controlled the pace. You like to see some, where they sit behind horses and they're overcoming something. That's exactly what Blofeld did, and he's certainly a prospect that's worth following. A couple horses are going to be off my list now. I Spent It. He disappointed in the Champagne. I've dropped him off my list. And then a Competitive Edge. He was on my list, but he has a hairline fracture. He's going to miss the rest of the year. They're still hopeful that he can make the Derby Trail, but he's out for at least 60 days. Hashtag Bourbon, another one. He wasn't on my list, but this one he has an ankle chip, and he's out of action. They're expecting him to return, if everything goes well, 2015 during the Oaklawn Park meet. And then for Southern California, he has a hock injury, and he's out for the rest of the year. He beat American PHAROAH, and he won big at Del Mar, and then he hadn't run since then. So he has an injury. He's one to maybe keep an eye on if he comes back next year, but at this point, he's out. So now we're going to jump into the list now. Number 11, and new to the list, is going to be Lord Nelson for Bob Baffert. This one, the Sire's Puppet, of the Dam Sire Seeking the Gold. As I said, trainer Bob Baffert. Peachtree Stable owns this one. He won his Del Mar debut in July, and then they ran him in the front runner stakes, and he was coming off a little bit of a layoff there. Stablemate American PHAROAH won. He finished 4th, and then they brought him back in the Speakeasy Stakes at 6 furlongs. That was on October 13th at Santa Anita. Dominated that one, got a 92 Beyer speed figure based on the pedigree, the connections. This one should be able to stretch out, even though he was 4th in the front runner. That was probably asking a lot, jumping into Stakes Company's second career start. But he's one to watch next year. I think he's going to be a quality colt. He should blossom, and I think he will be able to handle the 2 turns. Number 10 is going to be Frosted. He was number 11 last time. He moves up a spot. He's had 2 lifetime starts. In his debut, we put him on after his debut. He finished a decent second in his debut, and then he was second again at Belmont Park on September 20th. It was a good effort. He seems to be moving forward. He had a bullet work most recently at Saratoga on October 15th. So he should show up in a maiden race and probably graduate in the near future. El Kabir, number 9, drops a little bit. This one in the Champaign, from post 1, wet track, didn't break well. He was in between horses. I'm just going to throw that one out. He looked really good at Saratoga. I think in the future, he's one that can end up moving forward. I'm not sure how far he wants to go, but he has a lot of talent. And just forget the Champaign and give him another chance. Number 8 is Daredevil. He's new to the list. As we mentioned him, and he won the Champaign. He's 2 for 2 on wet tracks. He needs to catch a fast track before we can really see how good he is. Number 7, Chief Istan. He was on the list before. He's at number 7 for trainer Larry Jones. He won his debut at Delaware Park. He had a 5 furlong bullet at 59 and change at Keeneland on October 6th. That was his last work. He's probably going to work out again soon, and then probably is going to show up maybe at Fairgrounds this winter. That's a track that Larry Jones likes to run his horses at. Number 6, Startup Nation. He drops. He was 2 for 2. Powerful from off the pace in his first 2 turf races. Then he finished a flat 4th in the Pilgrim Stakes on September 28th. A little bit disappointing, but we're certainly not going to give up on him. One race that was a little bit below par. He's one to continue to follow. He showed a lot of talent, a lot of ability in those first 2 starts. Number 5 is American Pharaoh. He, as we mentioned, won the Del Mar Futurity, won the front runner after disappointing in his debut. A lot of talent. He's already run fast. He likes Santa Anita. He just worked 6 furlongs and 111 and change at Santa Anita on October 14th. He looks ready to roll in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Number 4, Carpe Diem, another one that we talked about for Todd Pletcher. He won the Breeders' Futurity. He's 2 for 2 lifetime. Windstar thinks this is their best juvenile ever. A lot of talent here, a lot of promise. Giants Causeway the sire, Unbridled Song mare. One to keep an eye on into 2015, and hopefully he stays healthy and on that Derby trail. Number 3 is Blofeld, another Todd Pletcher runner. As we mentioned, he won that Futurity Stakes. He got 100 by our speed figure. Looked good, very professional win. Probably going to go in the Nashua at Aqueduct on November 2nd. And this one, we'll have to see how far he wants to go. Quality Road, Stormcat, a good pedigree, a lot of talent there. Certainly one to keep our eye on for the long term. Number 2, Super Colossal. He was number 2 last time, and he stays right there. He hasn't run since we mentioned last time. He's 3 for 3 at Monmouth. He won all his races there. He did work out 5 furlongs, 101 at Monmouth. That was on October 13th. So hopefully he'll be showing up again in the near future. And then retaining that top spot is going to be International Star. Despite that low speed figure, he did what he had to do. He won the Gray Stakes. As I said, he got the 10 Derby points. And now hopefully he'll run faster on dirt in the future. Still has a lot of promise. I like his versatility. I said the reason I liked him to begin with was because he handled a variety of distances, surfaces early in his career, and then he just jumps up and he handles another surface. So that's a plus on his side. That'll wrap up this video. If you go over to horseracingnation.wordpress.com, you can read the written blog to accompany this video. And we're going to be doing more updates as we start to run more Derby preps next year, early next year, and we start to get Derby preps every week. We're going to be updating these videos and the blog series much more frequently. That'll wrap it up. Until next time, good luck at the races.